Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, no, this is not a GT Classic tournament. I know some people signed up for his GT Classic. I personally signed up for everything but GT Classic, but that's okay. That's the beauty of a multi-category tournament. You know, everyone gets what they hate, but no one gets what they want. No, obviously, just kidding. I gotta say, I personally made great experience with the multi-category tournament. I got like every single category so far, except for low ice, which I couldn't have gotten yet because I obviously got RBO before. But this is pretty good. Either way, we're off to a good start here. Both runners starting in Ceres Station here, climbing down those stairs and making their way to an underappreciated encounter here. We got a little bit of lore coming up here in Ceres Station. The runners finding the dead corpses of the researchers and the baby lonely in this chamber here at the end of Ceres Station. About to encounter the arch nemesis of Samus, Ridley. And neither of the runners deciding to try and fight Ridley. In case you didn't know, you can actually unlock a little nice Easter egg there. If you manage to get 100 shots in on Ceres Ridley, he is gonna drop the main Metroid and you win the game. But since GT code is arbitrary, in GT Classic, that's obviously not an option, because if they win the game now, how are they going to execute GT code? You got to think about that for a second. Alright, and as I see Maniacal is on his way to join me on commentary, I'm hyped for that. Both of the runners here having a little bit of hiccup with Ceres here, Fruitbatsalad with a 42, and Sephi with just a 38. Now, both of those times not particularly great. I know these runners can pull off like 45s and 46, but good start. Yo, and as I see Maniacal is here, what's up, Maniacal? How are you doing?
Yo, Punk, I am great. Sorry about that. I had competing obligations right up against 9 p.m., so I apologize for missing Ceres Station, but it looks like we have GT Classic going on for FBS and Sephi. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, it sure will be. Both of them really, really good at like 80% ultra, mini boss RTA, obviously GT Classic, like all these kind of runs. So this is going to be really, really good.
I am quite excited. I saw this matchup on the schedule and I thought FBS and Sephi, and for one of these guys, it's going to be their last match in the tournament. I have got to be part of this one. And so thank you for letting me join you, Pong. Hopefully you're finding yourself well this evening.
Oh, I'm more than happy that you joined me on commentary. You know, when I signed up and then I saw you signing up too, I was like, okay, yeah, that will work out. It might be the last time we get this combo. I mean, not only do we get very close to the amount of matches left in this tournament, but also obviously to the amount of commentary options.
Yeah, I'm glad you were willing to let me join you.
Oh, always. So, GT Classic. Start is pretty straightforward. I am honestly more curious at this point how many safeties we're going to see in the late game. I want to just ask the obligatory question here. Do you think either of the runners is going to go for a high jumpless lava dive?
Absolutely not, Punk. Neither of these runners is a monster in that way. I think you are the only person I have ever seen go for high jumpless lava dive under race conditions. I'm sure someone else has.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like on SRL. But tournament race, I think we're going to see both these runners go for probably 2 E-Tank high jump. So I think we will not see Kraid Tank.
I absolutely agree. I think both of these runners are going to be going for this big safety that high jump boots is, but don't think either of them is going to go for a fur tank, as they are pretty good with lava dive. They shouldn't really be needing the fur tank there. Yeah, we're going to see. We already have some nice divergence here in the climb. Fruitbatsalad going for the traditional right side wall jump climb, as Sephi is going for that specific version of the behemoth climb.
And I'll tell you, both of these runners have, I mean, they're in top 8, so of course, but have impressed the heck out of me this tournament.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you told me they were both in top 8 at the beginning of the tournament, I mean, I might have been pretty surprised by it. I think that they've both put on just awesome showings in what was a really strong field. And so I'm super happy for both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these guys are absolute beasts in their field. Funny enough, this combo of racers, these two are the only ones who beat me in this tournament yet. I lost against both of them with quite a big of a lead, actually. Like, they absolutely destroyed me, so they are really good, and if anyone, they definitely deserve to get into this part of the tournament. I see in chat coming up the question for like success rate on high jump versus lava dive. It is really a practice thing. Like, you can get to a level where you are somewhat consistent, but like the common thing that is agreed on is that like even top tier players never get to a level like beyond 70% consistency on high jump versus lava dive. The single elements of it aren't super hard once you get them down, but there are just so many small things that if you just make one mistake, you're dead. So it's just really marathon and race unsafe to do it, which is why you really just want to take high jump in these kind of races, especially if it's single elimination.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if this were a 5-0 Swiss match and this were basically being played out for seeding or something. Which, I mean, still the racers would want to win, but being a lock for top 8 and guaranteed to continue in the tournament is so different from a win-or-go-home match that they're getting to play right now.
Yeah, what I'd much rather see in terms of safety skips is something that Hillborn and Slotus did, which is just skipping a few of the safes that you would usually take on the way of a GT Classic round. Like maybe skipping out on the pre-lava dive safe or the post-lava dive safe. Which is something we have really regularly seen in the Swiss round races of GT Classic, taking both of these saves, just in case lava dive or the green gate glitch goes wrong.
And Sephi with the nice Kago here on whatever that floor frog is called. I think it's a Zila.
Correct. And also
getting door alignment.
Also getting a missile drop here from the rear, which is really good, as that makes skipping that missile tank here at high jump a lot easier. If you don't get that extra missile drop, and especially in race conditions, you might really think about getting that extra missile pack just to make these areas a lot easier. We've seen Sloters earlier having a really rough time with crate, even with the extra pack, and not having ammo in crate without charge. And missing the crate quick kill can cost you a lot of time. So it's a really big safety.
Yeah, chargeless crate quick kill for GT Classic is pretty necessary. That fight can go very wrong very quickly. And Sephi not unfortunately getting his Red Tower hero shot here, so gonna have to wall jump up and gonna have to go for it again. Having a little bit of trouble here. The Ninja Turtles not being friendly.
Oh, and...
Oh, no!
Yeah, the really bad part about that is falling down and you're not able to shoot the block before it, like, after it respawns, but he gets it. Fruitbatsalad making a really good job, though, getting it first try, catching up on Sephi here.
Yeah, that's one of the first sort of big points of potential time loss in this run. Next up, probably being Kraid, unfortunately, FBS. Okay, second try D-boost there.
I feel like that backup is actually really hard that Fruitbatsalad just did there, with that one tile of running speed getting into that D-boost. But runner's pretty much back in sync now.
Nice sync here as they're on their way back through Hellway. FBS getting his D-boost, but a little low on health, so stopping to farm. And yeah, both runners now good enough on health and ammo as they head down toward Kraid.
Yeah, I was like a little bit worried when they, like, especially if Fruitbatsalad came into Hellway with 0 missiles, but both taking their a little bit of time, getting that extra farm, and shouldn't really have problems clearing out the warehouse area right before Crate. Because that is actually a really big concern. Like, it might not seem like that, but if you think about your classic old route any percent run, where you even sometimes have trouble getting into crates there like that, they have these extra steps of the red tower where they need to utilize extra ammo here. So ammo management and health management is a really big concern here.
And we see Fruitbatsalad stopping and blowing up the Meridia tube on his way in, whereas Sephi's going to have to do that, or Antinomy is going to have to do that on his way back. So it's going to look like Antinomy is a few seconds ahead of FBS, but they're a few seconds closer than they appear on screen.
Do you know how much time it saves / loses opening that tube, Brody?
It lets you jump through the door transition the second time, and so I'm not 100% sure. It makes for easier movement. I think it's right around 3 seconds.
Huh. Alright, really important part coming up now. Heading that quick kill. Sephi gets it very nicely. Fruitbatsalad doesn't have the classic ammo to do this, but it looks like he's gonna go... Oh, very nicely done. Also gets the quick kill. Good shot.
And a bonus shot there right into the dying Kraid's gullet. Nicely done, FBS, with the 4 super quick kill. But we saw Sephi really carefully managing his ammo there, stopping. Mini Kraid dodged his super missile. He shot a little early on. He had to stop and use pea shooter to make sure he had the right ammo, but takes care of it and makes sure that he has what he needs for Kraid.
Mm. Both runners with really good ammo, leaving Kraid here. And that's kind of a moment of truth. I think Sephi... Oh, Sephi actually going for that Kraid E-Tank? That's interesting. So, gonna go for a... It's either gonna go for high jump as lava dive, which I really doubt, or is gonna go for a free E-Tank high jump lava dive, which is really, really safe. Actually gives you 1 or 2 extra attempts on the lava dive if you fail the top wall jump. Fruitbatsalad deciding to skip that E-Tank, so he's gonna play it a little bit more on the edge with 2 tanks here.
Yeah, and I can get behind that, taking that tank for Sephi, especially if he's planning on skipping the saves. Whereas the safety save at Bubble Mountain that we may or may not see FBS takes about the same amount of time as the Kraid E-Tank.
That's right. It might very well be possible that we see all that time Sephi just lost by getting that E-Tank might be caught up when Fruitbatsalad hits like the pre-lava dive save, and Sephi might just skip past that. But we're gonna see.
Alright. Both runners with their high jump boots now. Good stuff.
Yeah, makes the thing a little bit more calm. A little bit less stressful to play and commentate and watch.
Yeah, very nice high jump boots escape there from Sephi, getting the ball boost through the Sova. And
yeah, the wall jumps you need to do. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
The wall jumps you need to do for that are surprisingly tight, especially since with Spazer here, without Spazer here, you cannot go for the down back stretch into the room, which makes them even tighter because you really have little time to kind of beat the Nova at the top of that to still get the ball boost. But yeah, it looks like Sephi is pre-equipping power bombs, already going into the mock ball, whereas Fruitbatsalad is going to take the safe, so pretty much just as you predicted.
Yeah, and I'm not shocked by this. I figured we might see the runners take one or the other of those things, and especially if they're watching the restream. If you're FBS and you see that Sephi took the 3rd tank, you kind of know you have that that go-ahead sort of quote-unquote free break-even safety save option. Seffi with a nice D-boost there, using some of that extra health to get through the, I don't even know what to call that room.
I'm pretty sure that's called the Chronic Boost Room. Alright, we got Seffi with a nice bounce ball opening here. Looks like Fruitbatsalad is just gonna go more with a walking in method here. Oh, and Seffi missing that last ball jump. That's not super bad. He has that extra E-tank. Has the extra energy to do this. Needs to hit this now, though. And gets it. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that extra E-tank is for.
Yeah, and we see both runners in good shape. And FBS gonna go and save before going on to fight the Green Gate boss. Yeah. But that is exactly why those runners took those safeties.
And Seffi deciding to skip that save. So, if, which we don't expect, he is gonna miss that Green Gate glitch 5 times, he's gonna have a massive problem. But I expect first try Green Gate glitch by both runners here, as already mentioned in chat.
Come on, okay.
There we go.
I was sweating a little, but he made it through.
Yeah. First try, easy every time. Let's see if Fruitbatsalad can follow up. Getting it first try, very nicely done. Even supering one of the rippers. Nice.
FBS doesn't need safety. He just takes them, just cuz.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Seffi getting his GT code. Now he's got all the gear. Needs to unequip Spazer. Spazer's surprisingly difficult to menu to sometimes.
Yeah, de-equipping Mothball twice there. That was interesting. Alright. Both now in GT. Oh, Seffi with the upward shot opening. I appreciate that.
Always good to see if you crouch. So if you tap down and then hold L and R to aim up in a crouching position, you can hit GT twice with each of these shots. You don't need to hit him twice on every shot, I think, because I think he takes, is it 15 shots?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
I think his HP is 13,500. I'm too lazy to do the math right now.
Yeah, exactly. Mathing is more difficult than I signed up for this evening. But yeah. Either way, I think you only need an odd number of hits.
7.5 shots, thank you. Yeah, we're coming to, now that we got pretty much all the quote-unquote hard stuff done, we're coming to the boss rush part of this race, so now it's just movement, using all the items you just got and killing the bosses as quickly as possible, optimally not picking up a single more item, and just doing stuff Hundo style from here on out.
Yeah, and this part of the game is pretty much why GT Classic may be my favorite category. You get all of those Hundo movement items all at once. The run is almost assuredly not going to die at this point, and so you just get 20-some minutes of really, really fun pure movement. I love just boss rushing this game with all of the Hundo gear, plus the luxury of Plasma plus X-Ray.
Yeah,
It's Super Metroid without boss fights, so...
I can second that. That Plasma X-Ray combo is pretty sweet. You don't get to see that in enough categories. Seffi with a really nice double Kago here. Yeah, Fruitbatsalad following up with a single Kago.
Yeah. And Seffi going for the difficult strat there for the charge shot. It's nailing it.
Yeah, that one's really rough. But no problem here.
FBS also getting through Metal Pirates cleanly. Both runners executing their chosen strat pretty much to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, FBS bonking his Flowerhouse attempt there. See him on to Ridley here, only a few seconds behind.
So now, for this fight, this might seem very similar to like a Hundo fight. Like, you have your 20 charge shots, you want to be, you have a lot of energy. There's still a slight difference though. Like in 100%, you can really best be just in Ridley's face, not have to worry about anything, just because you pick up the E-tank right afterwards. But in GT Classic, since you really don't want to pick up any more items, you still need to be a little bit more careful maintaining your health here. As you might need to do that, and might need that later, and you don't really want to pick up like the Batu E-Tank.
And a clean fight from both runners. FPS getting a little trolled by Ridley's behavior there. He wouldn't grab him there at the end, but getting out. Both runners with good resources, not using all their supers on Ridley, and both having good health. But exactly what you mentioned, the big difference between that and Hundo is absolutely that you do want to manage your health a little bit so that you can skip all the Ridley drops and just keep moving.
But yeah, the runners being like a mere door transition apart at this point. Everything open at this point.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what strats each of the runners goes for. It looks like FBS is going for and nailing his Speedball Wasteland escape.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice time save there with Steffi, who needed to bomb the blocks.
So, a virtual sync out of Ridley. This is exactly what I wanted out of this top 8 match. GT Classic is all well and good sweating out that lava dive and the green gate glitch, but these races are at their best when both runners nail them, and we just get to watch them compete with movement.
I absolutely agree. Like, GT Classic is such a good race category, but in so many cases it's just like one runner dies to lava dive or to green gate glitch or didn't save before, and it's just like a 20-minute time difference at that point. But races like these are just really, really good when everything goes smooth, they get their GT code as fast as possible, and now they're just one room apart with all these great movement items.
Sephi unmorphing and killing the, I don't even know, not a Viola, it's a red Viola, but killing lots of enemies here, just doing some lag reduction.
Really subtle movement differences here, or strat difference that might seem almost random, but all just for these few extra frames saved over there.
And Sephi got that jump, nicely done.
Looks like Fruitbatsalad also got it. Nice.
These runners are just showing off. I love it. And shout outs to Cerberoth with multi-viola. Thank you, Cerberoth. And so, yeah, also, purple stuff please in the chat. Sorry if we're throwing terms that you don't know around. It's sort of late in the tournament, and so there have been a lot of matches, but feel free to ask about anything and we'll try to answer. And there we saw FBS taking advantage of having already opened up that Meridia entrance and taking the lead over Sephi, actually.
Yeah, being like half a second in the lead right now. Nice stuff.
Yeah, very solid lead. About 4 or 5 frames.
I think that one's just lost. I think it's like literally synced right now. Oh wow, man. Yeah, alright. So they're really close to each other right now. Fruitbatsalad with like 2 tanks more of health, which doesn't really have to mean anything. My bottom drops might be a little bit of an equalizer there, and they don't really have to worry about health at this point since they're gonna microwave the next 3 bosses. We're gonna see that right now.
It's down to Botwoon hole RNG, and both runners get top left hole. Optimal Botwoon RNG for both runners.
Yeah, they both nailing their 100% chance of getting that top left hole. It's always nice to see. Alright, gonna see if he can nail the full halfie. I'm not sure, does Fruitbatsalad go for full halfie, or does he go for normal halfie? Yeah, looks like he's just gonna go for the halfie. Solid strat. Sephi with the full halfie. Definitely saving himself a little bit of time there, and going for that extra health. Not a bad choice.
And that little moonfall there. Maybe not saving any frames, but definitely increasing the swag. And both runners are going to do something very similar to what they did to Batun here to Dragon. Just gotta wait through the Dragon entry auto-scroller first.
Yeah. So the idea of this fight, of all of these fights, it's pretty much that Plasma Beam can actually travel through the enemies and doesn't get eaten for these specific bosses. And by buffering X-Ray, you constantly continue the time, basically, in which the iframes that the bosses run out. So you're pretty much pausing the game, the enemy doesn't move, the shot doesn't move, but the iframes run out, so you constantly buffer the same damage multiple times on the enemy. Which makes, obviously, for some really quick kills here.
Yeah, both runners nailing their one-round Dragon. We'll probably see them get that one-round Phantoon, but so far the runners not separated by more than a Phantoon speed difference. Which is just how Phantoon likes it. Hopefully they both remember to go see Phantoon. I would hate to see this run go down that way.
Might be a pretty interesting equalizer here. Fruitbatsalad got that fast petter and Sephi having to wait out a slow.
Yeah, very nice move, as always. And getting a little jagated there. Don't know why that ceiling wouldn't break for Sephi, but he made it through. FBS probably closing by almost a second there. And Sephi going for not quite getting hole-in-one there. We'll see if FBS can.
Oh, it's funny with Wave Beam that... Oh, no! That is unfortunate. Sephi unspinning there a little early and falling down there, giving Fruitbatsalad the lead.
And FBS freezing the fish.
Not quite killing it.
Preserving it for future generations. I like it.
I'm not unpleased. Alright. So both of them now on the way to the wrecked ship. Really, really close to each other.
I feel like I say this every, minute so far this run, but this is exactly what I wanted this race to be. This has been, for me so far, about 25 minutes because I was a little late to the party, but of a good long period so far of just very close movement, very close match, slightly different strats.
Yeah. Alright. And they are absolutely... They even fail the same thing. It's amazing. Both bonking the corner of the wrecked ship there. Oh my god. Okay, so now bless RNG for equal Phantoon patterns, please.
Please let this be slow, so both runners are just tilting off about it.
I really don't hope it's going to be a slow. A normal slow would be good enough for me.
I just mean a slow on both sides.
Oh, alright. Yeah.
One cycle.
I mean, if both got a slow, that would be pretty interesting.
Oh my god, if both get an actual slow, that would be... terrible, but also kind of amazing for us.
Yeah, so Phantoon is the only one that kind of falls out a little bit on the microwave scheme, because you actually need to inflict damage with some kind of super high damage projectile, usually a missile here, and it looks like both runners are going to get that slow that we're talking about. I'm going to take... Oh no, Sephi with a mid there.
No, that was it?
What?
I think that was a slow for Sephi.
Really?
I think Sephi got a right slow and FBS got a left slow.
Well, either way, we got Syncacune.
But like, look at those
0.3 seconds apart.
Oh man. Woo. Rip Phantoon.
Yeah. Oh my dog.
Oh my dog indeed. We are set up for an awesome Torian race here.
Yeah. Let's hope these runners practice their Metroid dreams, because it's absolutely going to come down to that.
I don't think I've seen a race that has been this consistently synced.
Yeah, I agree. Like, oftentimes we see races sync up in the very late part of the race. But this...
Oh! Sephi going for the faster strat and then bonking and losing a little bit of time. FBS paying for that crash animation. but it worked out faster.
Yeah, to be fair, that speed keep space jump strat is really hard to maintain. There are some really tight gaps in jump inputs you gotta make there for that to work. In addition to not bonking the door out of the red chip in the first place.
Yeah, it's far from free. It was nice to see Sephi go for it. And we're going for the speedball here. I like it.
Oh yeah, and some
slope spark.
Nah, no way. Not in this race.
I don't think so.
No space for Memory. Not in such a close race. But yeah, since the question came up in chat, since this is top 8, ties are no longer like allowed, quote unquote. It had to be a rematch if this would be a tie.
Yeah, if they tie, and so far that doesn't look too far-fetched.
Mm-hmm.
But they would in fact have to play another match. They would grace us all with another excellent show of Super Metroidery. But this Sync G4, I didn't even catch the G4 time. It really doesn't matter. FBS is a couple seconds ahead, mostly on that wrecked ship exit.
Yeah, we got a mere 2-second lead here for Fruitbatsalad. And we have so much coming up. We have 4 really, really technical Metroid rooms that you can easily lose a lot of time on. We got the Metroid skit, which saves you 20 seconds over your opponent if you get it really well, and your opponent doesn't get it. We got stand-up glitch, which is always a source of danger. So yeah, this is all but over.
Yeah, GT stand-up, especially dangerous. We can talk about that in a couple minutes when it comes up, but to answer the chat, the tie would be a tie to integer seconds, because the timers on the screen are unofficial.
Yeah.
The race actually is going to be decided by SRL timing, because there may be some slight differences in the stream delay, even in the runner's own broadcasts. And interesting, Metroid's 2 there from FBS. I don't know if that grab was intentional. I can't imagine it was, but it looked it. And so runner's pretty in sync into Metroid's 3. FBS with a cleaner Metroid 3.
Yeah, it's definitely falling down there. Only Metroid Room 4 coming up. That one is probably the easiest one to do optimal. Really nice. Oh, and Sephi, as I say that, getting grabbed there. I'm to correct that, but getting a nice bomb back up. And now, Sephi is actually at the point where health is a little bit concerned. Because as we said earlier, there is still the stand-up glitch coming up. And they have a maximum of exactly 700 energy right now, which is what they need to do the stand-up glitch. Sephi has 300 energy in his reserves.
He doesn't have enough for stand-up, and so yeah. I want to see him get grabbed here and take that refill. Or no, I might want to see a Crystal Flash refill out of Sephi.
Looks like he is gonna... Oh, nice. Baby skip by both runners. So, with a good stand-up glitch, which... Alright, okay. So neither of them going for... Sephi not going for a refill here, so I would say that what you said is correct. Just gonna go for the Crystal Flash.
He would need to drain himself pretty substantially.
Fruitbatsalad de-equipping Screw Attack earlier. In the elevator. Doesn't need to do like speed zap skip or what Sephi's gonna do right now. The spring ball zap skip, which is really cool. But oh, looks like nice. Okay, got it.
Yeah, he used a few supers there. I'm not sure if we're gonna see him. Oh no, it doesn't look like he's gonna go for Crystal Flash. So he's giving up on stand-up glitch.
Yeah. So if Fruitbatsalad is going to go for stand-up glitch, that's going to give him option to really get that little bit of an extra edge here over Sephi, so we're going to see about that.
Stand-up glitch, not free, of course, in addition to the normal ways to mess up stand-up, which are getting locked on the floor in either the right or wrong position. You could shoot at the wrong time, which is something we've seen runners do, and slow down the game for a long time, or potentially lock the game up.
Alright, so...
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Pong.
We just see Fruitbatsalad de-equipping Varia there and manually refilling his reserves before the Rainbow Beam hit, setting up for 700 health, which allows, after the first Rainbow Beam, for Samus to stand up, which we see right now, but also initialize the second phase of Mother Brain, or the third phase rather, where the baby comes in, allowing for Samus to interact with Mother Brain during that cutscene, which allows to inflict damage earlier when the Mother Brain free HP bar is actually up, which is pretty much when Mother Brain free is gray like that. So we will see Fruitbatsalad constantly inflicting damage to the Mother Brain free already, while Sephi still has to wait out, and that's 900 damage per shot, which is really a lot considering that Hyper Beam, the weapon you get at the end of the baby death cutscene, deals 1000 damage, so ideally you can actually get as much damage in that you will only need to deal one single Hyper Beam shot for an optimal stand-up.
And I'll point out that the baby stops moving when your health hits full, which, because of the 700 HP you have, can trap the baby at a bad spot on the floor. FBS ran back early, stopped shooting Mother Brain, just to make sure that baby stopped in a position where Mother Brain would be able to deal damage to the baby, to keep the stand-up safe.
Yeah,
so,
another thing to keep the stand-up safe, we see Fruitbatsalad doing like an early pause here on firing his charge shot. That is, if a shot is on screen during the Hyper Beam transition, the game lags out really significantly, which loses you a lot of time. Yeah, handling it well, being quite ahead here on this Mother Brain free death. Sephi just finishing off Mother Brain free here.
Yeah, so there we saw the difference between stand-up and not stand-up. I think Sephi was a few seconds behind sort of into the fight, but now FBS with a good another 20 seconds or so.
And that final moonfall from Sephi is, even though it saves 1 or 2 seconds, not going to make up enough time to... Oh, that blue bomber though. That makes me so proud.
That was a nice blue bomber there from Sephi, and I think we will see this last moonfall, but yeah, that saves maybe 20 to 30 frames, not even 1 to 2 seconds.
Oh really? Oh dang. Okay, I was misinformed there, but yeah. Looks like Fruitbatsalad is gonna take this home. Unless we see some Franker Z's, which I doubt, but yeah, just finishing this up. Sephi with a nice behemoth spark.
Oh yeah. And here he goes, FBS not saving the animals. Yeah, doing the right thing. We'll see if Sephi decides to bother the animals.
I don't think so. Nah, there you go. But yeah, Fruitbatsalad finishing first place with an official time of 37 minutes 43 seconds, actually improving his race PB by 5 seconds, and Sephi finishing second place with an official time of 38 minutes and 2 seconds, only being mere 19 seconds apart, which I'm pretty sure is going to guarantee them a place in the Hall of Fame for closest race, so GG to both runners at this point.
Yeah, wow. What a race from both runners. GG and congrats to Fruitbatsalad on that win, and GG to Sephi as well. Just what a race we just got to watch. That was awesome. So yeah. Everyone, if you are not yet following Fruitbatsalad and Antinomy, go give them both a follow. They just gave us some of the most fun you will have this Friday evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them absolutely great guys, like in second what Nigel said. But yeah, this is the top 8 in single elimination. Fruitbatsalad just kicked out Sephi out of the tournament. So congrats Sephi on making it into the top 8, and congrats Fruitbatsalad for making it under the best 4 of the tournament. Fruitbatsalad will be facing off the winner of the final top 8 match we have. We got JRO versus Feral here. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, gonna be deciding who's gonna face off Fruitbatsalad in the semifinals.
And what a race that's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
I can't promise it's gonna be better than this, but it's gonna be better than this. No, those guys are both old school runners, and it is gonna be a hype match. I hope it's any percent. I really do. But
yeah.
So earlier, I guess shield your ears for spoilers if you haven't watched the VOD from earlier. But Ponk, who are you going to be playing in the semifinals?
I'm gonna be playing Sloters in the semifinals.
Oh man,
I'm very excited for this match. I can promise you one thing: it's not gonna be Dap, as I know Sloters, but I hope it's gonna be some maybe some low percent. I would be looking forward to that.
Yeah, you've gotten 6 categories in 6 races run so far. So
yeah.
What's a 7th? Let's get some low percent for you, Paul.
Yeah, I would be really hyped if I would actually manage to get every single category of the tournament.
That would be awesome. But yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be the end of Sephi or Antinomy's tournament experience. But what a great run he had this tournament. GG to Sephi, and congrats on the top 8 finish, making top 8 even with a forfeit against our very own Ponk.
Oh yeah, I think Sephi was actually one of the ones from the 4-2 brackets, with an excellent how's that thing called again? I always forget the word for that, but
it's
basically facing off Buchholz.
It's the Buchholz, exactly.
Yeah, but facing off pretty much the strongest opponents of the tournament, and Fruitbatsalad with an excellent 5-1 going into the top 8. Yeah.
Yeah, Buchholz not actually the tiebreaker we used. We used opponent match win percent.
Yeah.
But Chalon.
You just wanted me to say Buchholz, didn't you?
Oh, I love it. That's a very strong Buchholz you've got. Much better than my own.
I mean, it's my yeah. Either way, Maniacal, it was a pleasure to commentate this with you. That was absolutely great.
Yeah, Ponk, it was a blast. When I saw you were signed up to commentate it, I was so excited and just keeping my fingers crossed that you would let me join you. That was a real blast. What a race from both those guys. Again, follow them both. Follow Ponk. Follow Speed Gaming 3. Also Speed Gaming's 1, 2, 4, and 5.
I think they have even 6 now.
Don't follow Speed Gaming 6.
Don't follow. Okay, but follow Speed Gaming 8,
scrubs.
the art show. That's the true Speed Gaming. But yeah, follow Maniacal here as well.
Yeah, follow every Speed Gaming.
Yeah.
And thanks to Speed Gaming and Feasel and everyone involved in the background for helping us have this wonderful multi-category tournament. It's been so much fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. And once again, as Maniacal already said, there's this really, really good race tomorrow at 9 p.m. So make sure to check that out. It's going to be good. And yeah, I think that's going to be it from us.
All right. Thank you, Ponk, and see y'all next mission.
See ya.